I saw this picture on another video. I assume it's from Soho. What do you make of it? It doesn't look like it's been photoshopped. First thing someone's going to think is it's a UFO, but no, it's about the size of the Earth. Can't be a UFO. Is that some kind of a body or something? When I saw that, it concerned me. I don't know, maybe it's just a lens flare or something, but it does look like a planet. I'm not saying it is. Is there anything anyone knows that they can enlighten us with? I hear stories, like the elite are all splitting and they're building all these underground shelters. It can make one concerned about what's going on, what's up, is there anything happening? You can't find any honest information. Everything is slanted one way or the other. It's hard to find any good, neutral reporting. As promised, wanted to read the comments from the video so that they're not lost. Cowdog, he says, the pyramids, Sphinx, and the whole Giza complex were built countless millennia before the Egyptians ever stumbled upon them. For starters, they were not even capable of quarrying or shaping the stone blocks with the copper tools they had at their disposal at the time, let alone building any of it. There is no record or depiction of them doing so, even though they depicted everything else under the sun. On top of that, the ancient Egyptians never claimed they did. It's an excellent comment. As I replied to that at that time I think Velikovsky just didn't need the headache. John Pershing commented also and said, and they didn't know they were even there or about the Sphinx, not something a culture is likely to forget over the course of 3.5 thousand years. I mean, they don't live much differently now. Excellent point, John. And John I. says, this is why I love this channel. Unadulterated Velikovsky. Amen.
Outstanding, Red Team. Outstanding. Get your case of beer for that.
I also read in his archives about it. Raining gold down from Venus, the comet. These stories are extremely intriguing. Raining gold. John Pershing left a comment. Said, the pyramids lay upon ley lines with our stone-built monuments on Earth. I don't believe that they would build them for shelter. These buildings have straight lines that have equations within. Nope, these things were put there for more than one reason. I agree with you. I think that they had more than one reason. I like the electricity idea because the atmosphere was a lot different, meaning that the electric atmosphere was a lot different too, especially if we had Jupiter up there in the sky and or Saturn. Both planets took turns, Very well could have had more than one purpose. Then we go to Shiina Living Waters. This is one theory I'm not convinced. I understand what his findings are. But have you stood next to those stones? No, I cannot yet accept this. There has to be more to the story. But I still love your channel. Okay, well, thank you. And I agree. But like I said, why would they build such a huge roof and a huge floor with such little space inside such a big building? It's the way I look at it. If you want to build a structure to protect yourself from floods, hurricanes, and meteorites, you have to remember that the ancients were obsessed with cataclysms and catastrophes. Just look at all the shelters that have been built that are more conventional. You know that you really don't want to build it on the ground level, or even if you build it underground, unless you have a high place that you can escape from and you have it watertight, you're going to drown. If you go high, then you're going to have a problem of protection from meteorites. So you need a situation, really, where you're high, but also covered with a good thick amount of covering that isn't going to get blasted away and you dead or crushed. So if you can't build into a mountain, maybe that just wasn't anything that close that they could work with, they decided to build their own, or they used it for some other purpose and it doubled as a structure to take refuge in. One of the reasons why I think that too is it's just the way it's built. Like Velikovsky explains, as long as it doesn't get deeper than a certain amount of feet, they're safe from flood. As long as it doesn't get too many meteorites from the sky, they'll be protected there. So they have the best of both worlds right there. in the pyramid. And also, the pyramid is sloped in a way like tank armor. I wonder if that's where they got the idea, the person who developed sloped armor for tanks. But I agree that it probably wasn't just for that, and the people that built it were before the Egyptians. Who knows, it could have been people with super big brains. I mean, they have it pointed to the north with the greatest accuracy even of buildings today. So one of the theories that intrigues me too is healing centers. There's something going on there. There's some kind of a metamorphosis going on. And it's healthy. So I think, it could have been a power plant, perhaps a healing center, and a shelter, all wrapped up into one. I don't think it just served one purpose. Perhaps they built it with protection in mind, but it's something else. I remember Jim Marrs, the researcher that just passed away last year. He said that he went to the Osirian. It sucked all the juice out of his wife's battery for her camera. And I know other people have said that too. But I wonder, has anyone ever experienced that at the pyramids? There is something going on there, no doubt, still even today. There are pyramids virtually all over the world. Okay, and then we've got John Degelman. I believe the pyramids were designed to churn the salty, non-potable water of the time into potable water. The underground stones were piezoelectric and created a frequency that matched the sun, thus creating an electrical current used to distill water through a hydrolysis process. The hydrogen and oxygen were separated and gas pressure pushed them up the shaft, and the two gases were recombined in the king's chamber in the sarcophagus. Gas pressure pushed the recombined potable water out through the shaft at the top of the structure. They were built near the Nile. Run the water from the Nile into the front door and get potable water out of the top. The air chambers were designed to be above the front entrance so that the gas pressure could build up inside and push the gases up the tubes. That is why there is no way to get into the king's chamber and why the structure is curved inward to handle the gas pressure. Perhaps the queen's chamber was used to discharge a chlorine gas to the outside. Also, I believe that some of the so-called unfinished pyramids were actually finished pyramids that were melted level by a cosmic thunderbolt or some type of electric discharge. That was Joe Degelman. And Spike Coda said, have you researched monatomic gold? Yes, I have. A good source for that is, what was his name? Oh my God. What was his name? Lawrence Gardner used to do a presentation on that. It's very good. I don't know if it's on YouTube anymore. I'll have to look. But he does an excellent program on it. Yeah. To me, monatomic gold, the stuff disappears, but then reappears. And there's all kinds of craziness about that. Actually, I even thought about buying it and consuming it, but I don't think it's real monatomic gold. I do, as a result of that, take Himalayan salt. I breathe it through a little breather into my lungs, and I take supplements. They noticed that salt mine workers were an excellent help for a long time. All right, there was a response to Joel Degelman from There Is a Secret Sound, and he wrote, seems like an insane amount of effort to purify water. I'm sure when you said mono-automotive, I'm sure that you meant monatomic. It's just probably spelled correct or something.
I'm your huckleberry.
Then we got John replied back and said, could not find mono-automotive. Perhaps you mean monatomic. Yeah, I'm sure it's a glitch. If you have no water that you can drink, then producing potable water is not insane, but lives depend upon it. Besides, some of Velikovsky's writings talk about people drinking the river water during cataclysms and dying from it. Also, there is evidence of seawater in lower chambers of the pyramids and a water line in the king's chamber. Also, why are all the corners of the sarcophagus busted? I think to allow the water that forms in them to flow onto the floor. Okay, well, it's a good idea. And There Is a Secret Sound said 3 very interesting things. Pyramids with Velikovsky and Greg J. commentary. I like it. All right, I have to love that comment.
Isn't that a daisy?
I believe the Giza Plateau was built as a template, the Map of Malkuth.
Malkuth.
The Malkuth of the Kether, if you will.
Kether.
The Malkuth of the Kether, if you will. The whole template is a guide or map to the galaxy. That's from Slightly Slanted Sleuth for the Truth. T-Nix88. That's a pretty good take. I also like Christopher Dunn's power generation theory. It actually does line up with Orion's 3-star belt, and the sizes of the pyramid fit each star if you wind back the clock in the sky. So that solves the building of them together like that with nothing else like it, and also gives strong reason to believe they built them at said time. The Sphinx, though, is pretty clearly older geologic. Also, the pyramids are in the exact center of the total landmass of the Earth. Yeah, I know, I remember that. One thing everyone can agree, not a tomb. Definitely not a tomb. But if they've recently found this, I don't know what you want to call it, a void. It's an area where there's an opening, they believe. And who knows, if they find a sarcophagus in there, then we'll all be eating a little humble pie. But I still don't think it was a tomb. Hit you with acoustic, nursed as if by free will, the pill for the hill is taking the road that's suggested. But some become strays to explore other ways before those pills are ingested, because who is to say you must go this way without testing those really invested? If often you find when it comes to a grind and your solutions get bluntly rejected, it's either you're wrong or an ego so strong that's keeping their own beliefs protected. If sores from our past were covered too fast, although happy to have gotten this far, the wounds that were nursed were not clean enough first, as we all start to notice the scar. Some truths we may never know. Good episode, Jay. That's awesome, man. Did you write that? Beautiful. Spike Coda again chimed in. There is strong evidence that they may have been used for monatomic gold production.
I want in.
Slightly Slanted Sleuth for the Truth said the eye in the triangle is as the king's chamber is to the pyramid. Memory drain. It does make sense that a person or family with power would possibly build individual structures of great integrity, a mighty shield to protect them against cataclysms. I know I'd feel safe in a pyramid during the end of the world. Exactly. Slanted Sleuth for the Truth? Or what if the sarcophagus in King's Chamber was to hold the Ark, seeing as the Ark was the last of the Atlantean tech of the gods? And I postulate when Akhenaten, or Moses, was chased, it was because they ran off with the magnetic implosion generator. Excellent comment. I know that's intriguing. I've read that. I think Jim Mars did a piece on it. Okay, and Talk said, Greg, the pyramids in Egypt are actually 8-sided. There is a dip in each side. It was discovered by someone who was flying over it in the 40s, right? Also, the work done by Hakim Awan is very interesting. He even looks like a descendant from that period. Good video, thanks. Yeah, no, that's his shtick. And he's a good guy. I've listened to him a couple times. He knows a lot, obviously. I know that he said there's no word for death in their language, that they called it Weston. They were going Weston, like the sun. There has never been a change in Polaris' position from due north. Sheared sheep. There has never been a change in Polaris' position from due north. The orbits of the stars have never changed their position in documented history. Okay. Then we got Zejahantu. Had to head out early yesterday to make beans. I would have already said, happy birthday, brother. That's cool. As far as the sound, man, just don't do like many YouTubers and add the dramatic, loud entrance music to your productions. That mess is so annoying. Like I said a while back, your voice is soothing compared to like Steve Quayle, whom I absolutely love and respect. Those voice is literally a bullhorn al natural, if that's how you would write that. And very easy to listen to. Love the work, bro. Keep them coming. All right, that's cool. I have mixed feelings about intros. I try to keep it as maybe 5 or 8 or 10 seconds, not very long. I know what you mean. A lot of guys who use an intro, more often than not, I know it and I skip it and get right to where I see talking, you know. That's just because I'm impatient. But a lot of us are. I understand what you're saying. I'll keep that in mind. I do love music, though, unfortunately. Jared Ratliff said, happy birthday, happy born day. I mentioned in the description, I know who the description readers are when they respond to something I wrote in it. Some people don't even think about it. Some people do. It's just different. Thank you. And Eric Hurdle. Trenton Quarantino. That's funny. It's backward. Trenton Quarantino. Cats were worshipped in the past because they were saturnine. Saturnine. I'll have to look that word up. Yeah, I know that they were revered highly in Egypt. I didn't know they were worshipped. Oh, and catastrophe. Yes. I'll have to read that. Lee Robertson. Hey, you. Nice to hear you again. Thank you, Lee. Trenton Quarantino again. The location of the pyramids is the area on the Earth where there is the least amount of lightning strikes. Didn't know that. We have Roy Ledford. Happy birthday, Greg. Thank you. Maybe a new PC is coming your way. Yeah, unfortunately. I always bought such gifts myself, then gave them to my wife or kids to give me back. LOL. The sound is okay for those of us that follow, but a first-time observer might be annoyed. Thanks again for your effort. All the best, Roy. Thank you, Roy. Thank you very much. I heard that the average life of a cell phone is 18 months. What do you think the average life of a computer is? I've had this about 18 months. Terry Tolkien said even 30,000 plus years ago? Electric Universe Eyes responded with, wasn't this land described as green and lush with plant life before it was turned to desert? Yeah, that's true. I think it was a sea. Part of the desert was a sea. The nutrients are carried to the Amazon today. Electric Universe Eyes says, I'm a little over halfway through Aegis and Chaos 2. I could be wrong. He does have a section where I'll show you here. He writes updates to Aegis and Chaos. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Very good. All right. Well, that'll do it, I think. Scott Murrow said, not sure anything Velikovsky said about the pyramids is relevant. The records he compiled about planet-caused catastrophes are, though. Okay. There's a secret sound commented back and said Scott Murrow Velikovsky came to his conclusions not through conventional science, but by extension study of the world's ancient history and cultures. Absolutely. Scott Merrill wrote back, well, I didn't watch the video and am therefore not aware of Velikovsky's conclusions regarding pyramids, but you aren't telling me anything I didn't know about. Velikovsky studied or proven anything he said about pyramids either. UFOs and wormholes? Question mark. He asked that as a question. I see no truths being exposed on your channel, therefore I have come to the conclusion your controlled opposition, gatekeeping. You didn't deny planets as the cause of catastrophism in the past, but you did want to keep the subject focused on pyramids. Huh? Well, I was just reading Velikovsky. If I'm getting paid by somebody, then, man, the checks got lost in the mail.
Hey, don't you lecture me, you son of a bitch. You know who you're talking to? You know my record? Yeah. You're a legend in your own mind.
Everybody's different. Everybody has their own opinion. I'm definitely not paid opposition. I'm Velikovsky all the way. And we have some in review here. Well, that kind of sounds like the criticism Velikovsky got for Worlds in Collision. They didn't read the book, but they were sure it was wrong. I shouldn't even, who goes to a video and doesn't watch it but comments? I'll just let that speak for itself. And there's a couple that I forgot at the top. I apologize for the normalizing. Memory drain, no worries. It's fine. Slightly Slanted Sleuth for the Truth said it's good. Shifu Karaga left a couple of links. It's always interesting. Robert Molinex, it's good, very good, thanks. You're welcome. Sea Change It. Have you tried using a limiter first before normalizing? You know what? I just did right now. I did what you said. I used the limiter first and then normalized. It still has some spots, but it's better, I think. To wrap it up, we got Eric Hurdle said happy birthday. Thank you very much. And Kelly Everett said happy birthday. Thank you, Kelly. Trying to see if I left any others out. Don't want to. I think I got them all. Okay. I'd like to turn your attention to Eric Dollard and this video right here. I think that it might be very interesting for you Electric Universe proponents to watch. And also, one of the reasons why I got involved in this is because not enough researchers were involving half the equation, which is the Electric Universe, when they're talking about ancient times and modern times for that matter. But we got a good guy in the Richard Hall is getting into the Electric Universe. Andrew Johnson and Eric Dollard, The Origins of Electricity. Very good watch. I'll leave links for both. In closing, I would like to thank Andrew, Gregory, LeVar, Francis, and Francis for your donations and your helps. I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. Brandon, Andrew, Gregory, LeVar, Francis, and Francis, thank you very much for your donations. It's going to go towards the PC that I gotta buy, but I'm gonna wait until after Christmas if I can, and we have the sales. Thanks again.
If you look at it, hell, it just about blinds you, don't it?
I'm gonna go shut off. We're watching a Virgo